platforms. Flat Earth British, Martin Leitke speaking on what is a Flatterday. I have come here to bring some juicage and some good vibage, hopefully, to lift your vibration in the epically weird times. I know. Anyway, forget about all that. I'll help you escape for an hour or two. No, maybe not that long. What we're going to be looking into in this post, guys, is Starforts. Starforts. If you don't know about Starforts, I'll give you a little rundown. They are quite mind-blowing. I'll give you the science behind them. And we're going to have a think about what their true usage was. Okay, now we have brought forward on Flat Earth British some documentation. It's on the Celtic Tartarian channel of ours, and it shows that they found these things, these Starforts, which are called bastions on Wiki, in the 1600s, and they basically tarted them up and reused them for military purposes. Now these Starforts, okay, to me it's glaringly obvious there is some advanced sciences going on, some out of the geometry, fractal geometry, you know, out of the ether science, the real science. They're mind-blowing. So we're going to have a think about them and what their true uses are. Well, this was a bit of puzzle piece putting togetherness, helped by actually a young lady in comments and some picture I showed on my last post. Geez, and the original OG giant dude. Well, that went down with a mixed response. I'm a blasphemer. Stone him, stone him. How could it get any worse? How can it get any worse? There's a pandemic on. Anyway, so yeah, I showed an image of an oscillator, an oscillation from an oscilloscope of a waveform or a sound wave, and it is identical to a Starfort. So we're going to go along them lines of thinking, and that all Starforts are connected with water. Okay, so join me on this crazy ride, and we'll start here, guys. Okay, we will start here. Now, these are stunning artworks of Starforts from the 1600s, some of them from the 1700s that I collect, and this is, to my mind, post-reset, when these military forces are trying to gain control of whatever this device is doing. What you always find, and nearly always find, you get some on the coast, but they will be attributed to water, is they are on tributaries, islandlets, or the water is all the way around, and indeed gets fed through the said Starfort, okay, and back out into rivers. This one's from 1638, so it's pretty early for something so advanced when the rest of the world is basically, you know, post Mad Max world. As you can see, the trees are a bit wrecked, and they're always from a bird's eye perspective, these pictures, but they are absolutely stunning. I collect them. I have many of these. I'll show you a few examples to give you an idea, and then I'll show you what I'm thinking, guys. Okay, now this one's pretty beautiful, and it's from excuse me, 1592. Okay, now let's have a little mag into that one. It's a little bit different to the last. Am I in full magnification? I am, in fact, there. So as you can see, in this case, the water is going directly through this Starfort, and you get this little, what's been coined by Colm Ghibli, the Starfort man, hedgehog. But the screen device, and in this case there's no occupants, only a technasmia device, or a cathode, or a cathedral, or a church, but the water's running through and all the way around. Okay, motage, what about that one? Wouldn't that give them easy access for an enemy army to just stroll on in the night, in scuba diving? Anyway, so this is a rather nice one. snowy Starfort in the winter. But as you can see, all these tributaries out into main rivers, and you also see them on little islands in the middle of rivers, also on citadels as well in the middle of rivers. But how many water feeds? This is going through, this is going through. So a while back we found documentation, ancient documentation, I say ancient, from this period, for example, many of these, and they show you that these Starforts use hydraulics. And in this case, in this book, it is for the art of adding water. Okay, the art of adding water. So they're adding water. Then I got to thinking about our image on my last post. The fact that an oscilloscope reading, okay, of some waveform, maybe high-pitched sound, set frequency, 432, whatever, and you will get individual Starforts which match. So no two Starforts are the same, but one thing that is the same about them all is they are sacred geometry. Now, as I said, not all. Some are on mountain tops or mesas, but there are definitely rivers running through these places, and they're underneath as well. Okay, so going on that thought, okay, we'll go a little bit further. Now, going on the work of Emoto, which we always talk about because it's a big player in my reality, and I guess in a few of yours, about the intent of water and the mind-blowing memory of water, and water holding all the information about everything that has happened, every experience, every thought, every feeling, everything. This sort of proves it, and not only intent, spoken intent, but also the written word. So can you imagine a negative book, like a Stephen King book, full of negative intent, what this will do to your vibration? You see this word a lot in these books. So a whole book full of negative intent. Now take it a little bit further. This looks exactly like a Starfort. So does this, so does this, so does this. So Starforts are emanating a resonance or a frequency as part of their miracle structure. Now, is it not feasible, guys, going on that water has memory, that if you were to say, for example, submerge the Imagine into a pure pail of water, then each droplet of that water that was taken out would have an imprint and a memory of the Imagine John Lennon snowdrop, if you like. Now, water has memory, so if water was travelling through a resonating Starfort at sacred geometry, it would, to my mind, structure the water that goes through it. Now, that could lead to a few different schools of thought, I guess. In my mind, I think they could have been possibly, when I say they, the Phoenicians pre-reset, pre-big event, could have been using these Starforts for restructuring all the water in this plane. Now, what could they do with that, with all of the water in this plane restructured? Well, they could use a positive vibration, which could hold the realm in place, part of the computer network, even negative intent to affect it in a way that would affect it like it is maybe now. Maybe this would be the answer to why the seas are salty. I'm just thinking that the Starforts are running through rivers, etc., so that would be fresh water in a lot of cases, maybe salt in some. So maybe the crystals, the salt crystals that are actually in the sea, are a byproduct of this sacred geometry that was once up and running, but obviously and evidently not now, holding maybe the realm in place. Now they go really mega deep Okay guys, in this case this Starfort is using some sort of steaming technology, so we have put it forward that they were using them for basically regenerating the place after a mud flood, or regenerating it. So as you can see, they're highly complex, some of these examples. Again, 4 angels, sacred geometry inside of it. Okay. Now to me there's an ether and there's a science, a real science, where this is the science they're using with this architecture, by the way. You know, it's more than mathematically precise. This is bursting forth out of the ether technology, where they're harnessing technologies that have been covered up to us all. Excuse me. Crazy boating technology. This is to do with the hydraulics of the pumping it in. Quite advanced. And as you can see, in this case, this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is Menin. I thought it was Breda, but still, the areas that were annihilated in World War One. And this looks like, no mistaking, this looks exactly like some sort of piston. You can imagine it, like on an internal combustion engine. And fractal geometry, you know, some of these examples, they are bursting forth out of the fractals. If you watch Mandelbrot sets on YouTube, you know, you can see this replicated. The tree will show you pretty much the same thing as well. If you look into it, everything in the plant world replicates itself in a fractal way. So on that thought, excuse me, on that thought, back to my images. As I said, some are on the coast, but they are surrounded by moatage, and some of them are on hilltops, but certainly hills have watercourses, and they're still running on this same fractal geometry. Look at this example up here, guys, of sacred geometry. So we can't ignore the glaring obvious that they are based on sacred geometry bursting forth out of the ether tech, and they are resonating something. Now, we've had a lot of ideas, a lot of the truthers out there put a lot of ideas for these things, something to do with mining. We've had holding the luminaries in place. We've had what I suggested earlier on, that they could have been bringing this place back to life using steam, but it's more. Just check that out, guys. Now these things, if you don't know about them, cover this plane. There are areas that haven't got them, but there is nowhere that escapes this technology. If you look at these little fractals sticking out, just like Mandelbrot set. This is incredible stuff, mind-blowing. Also, these things send off petroglyphs off into the landscape, but you can see this would have been more water. This is some sort of lake left over, but this would have had some sort of course going through it. What a beautiful image. Little Dutch Starfort. And as you can see, again, you know, there's no mistake that, you know, at first, you know, at glance, if you were thinking in military terms, you would think, okay, well, they're just filling up the moats all the way around. To me, it's a weakness. You know, it's a river in, isn't it? It's 2 entrances in. You know, weakens it. So, you know, this is the technology of this water. It's breaking it up. It's probably vortexing it somewhere along the line. It's restructuring it through vibration, and it's pumping it back out. This is a Phoenician technology. Maybe that's what these wars were after, you know, after the 1600s that you see, were all about, taking these bastions out because of their true ability and what they do, these Starforts. Now, I've got, this is a Polish Starfort. It is a mind blower because it's basically in a mud flood. And this was I posted 3 years ago on my what is now the Celtic Tartarian channel, and it was basically my best ever video, and I really love that Gallica. So basically it's the best I've ever seen. And I have hundreds, and so I'm going to present a little bit about that Gallica in this post, if you do enjoy. Excuse me. As you can see, they're everywhere. This is Naden, where Ard, one of our peeps, lives in Hollandland. And they're left in the landscape. Some of them have been, as I said, you know, repurposed for military, and some are just lost in the landscape because these things are peppered. But just check that one out. Wow. Excuse me. It's a nice shot, but I don't think it's Starfort related. There seems to be something under that mound though. And there you go again. Fort Townsend. Another American Starfort. A lot of them have been demolished or left to rack and ruin. So let's move on to images that are connected with this. So if you don't know, Starfort Gallery, there's a few of the truthers in this realm of information. Victor, who is a boogeyman, and Com Ghibli and a few other people have been building probably what is the biggest resource for Starforts on Earth. This is an old one from back in the day, a couple of years ago, but it's still a fantastic resource. It shows you that they're everywhere. Angola, the Azores, but that's pretty flipping remote. Why would they need them out there? Belarus, Belgium, Bermuda, Brazil. Check Canada out. The Phoenician hold on Canaan land, Canada. Chile, China, Croatia, Cuba, Czech Republic, Denmark, Egypt, Estonia. Yay! I'm sure Estonia's got more than that. Just the one. There's a brilliant one in Tallinn. Finland. Yay for every country anyway. Bias. France. Oh yeah. Germany, Greece, Italy. France has got a load more than Germany, hasn't it? Like a lot more. Britain's got a lot less. And London hasn't even got a proper one round it at all for some reason. It doesn't need one. India, Iran, Italy. Italy's got quite good selection. Japan, Kazakhstan, Kenya, Latvia, Lithuania, Malaysia, Malta, Mexico, Morocco. Netherlands got a good few. Norway got a few. Pakistan got one. Maybe that's just one example. Peru. So as you can see, nowhere. Portugal's got outstanding Starforts. This one here is fantastic. It's on a mesa. But these glyphs, you know, it indicates that every single thing you see in this image is man-made, or Venetian-made, the Romans if you want to call them that. These are obviously coined, so the structure is now grassed over. This thing was absolutely immense, guys, immense. So there's a resource. I'll give it to you if you don't know about this sort of Starfort information. First time you come across it, it's quite mind-blowing why they only taught us in school about about castles. They never told you about Starforts, and they are, and I can see why. So there are, you know, according to this, there are a few in Britain. Okay, the Tilbury one near London Docks. Okay, I get that. A few on the coast. Alderney. That's a remote little island out in the Channel Islands. Carlisle. Covefort. Is there Fort William on here somewhere? There's one of them. So there's more Starforts as well that are not included on here. So, and the United States has a whopping load of Starforts. You look into their history, they're all popping up apparently in the 1600s or something, or not long after you even discovered the country. Psyop. I'm not buying Columbus' story at all. Christi Phi Fo Fum. Friend or foe? Fum. But fun. So there's a resource just in case you don't know about Starforts to give you a prompt. And here they are, a map of them where they appear all over the world. As you can see, Europe has more than its fair share, and I'm guessing, you know, the West Coast must have missed out. There seems to be one up in possibly Oregon. But the East Coast is jam-packed, sort of like a wall. I wonder what this looks like on an azimuth or equidistant flat Earth map. Coastal ones, Africa a few, but the blunt of them is in the Raj, India, and Europe, which has a stinking amount by all accounts. Lines, all on rivers, all on water, every one of them definitely connected with that. So we are moving on. This is the Gallica. It shows you Starforts. It's I like the number up here, 111, and plus it was my my best viewing ever video, which wasn't all of that, but it was my best viewing. And now I can sort of present Gallicas because they seem to have sorted it out. It's a new format, so good ching. So yeah, this actual Atlas we're looking at now was the key to unlocking for myself and Lee, Flat Earth British subscriber channel, Antiquitech. Because this was the actual image, because I was looking at this up here and these aerials and I was thinking, why so many things sticking up into the air? And then I got to thinking about the higher you reach up, the more electrostatic potential is available. I thought, oh, so they don't really need a church or 10 churches on one street, and there's something going on with these, and I'm seeing them all over buildings, these things on top, and I got to thinking about spires, and then all of the puzzle pieces all just fell into place for Antiquitech from this image, that exact image. So yeah, well, first thing you find out that these are Leide Atlases from Leiden University, 1733. The artist or the engraver for these bird's eye images is fantastic, is a genius. Also died the year of the publications of these, apparently. So it's not going to let me scroll through by there for some reason. It's weird. So, bing. Let's have a little look-see and see what we can see. Okay. Excuse me. Zoomage. Right. And this as well, I was thinking to myself, wow, 1733. How many stories there? I was thinking, well, buildings are massive. All built on these mesas. But what they always show you outside of every one of these bird's eye images is the trees are ripped up and shredded, and they always seem to be outside. As you can see, it was on a river, obviously good for getting commerce up, but also structuring water would definitely work with something that was built as a somatic pattern, don't you think? I do. So it was easier to go through Gallicas before this time. So this is basically part of, I suppose, the Sublinsky you can look up in the Gene 3 in the official narrative. But what you're finding is in 1733 we got some evil Polish Phoenician, okay, and he's been conquesting, and it shows you over who, okay, so some Polish Phoenician royal dude who's been wrecking everything, but they like to think they're super fantastic. Where's the Phoenicians exactly? They're up in the clouds, where he picked up that information, and our laurel leaf of control, and is probably his Orban scepter, and probably some other sorts of technologies along the way. But these are absolutely fantastic, these images. There's so much going on. What you got to try and think to yourself is, there's like each person in this image will be doing separate things, okay guys, separate faces, and it's been we've been pondering for a long time on Flat Earth British, so sort of thought maybe distinct possibility that the lithographs are actually some sort of photographs, that he's capturing these images somehow and then he's maybe engraving them in later, because there's too much detail and too much going on. You can study these for hours. So, are these giants? I don't know. Possibly not. He's about twice the size of this dude here, and this dude's, because these are all giants. Oh, they are really big. Look like Tartarian or something. Giants, aren't they? So they have guns, and they have antiquitents. See the little, what would be interpreted as the crescent moon for the Muslim world right now, but it's not in these. So a bit of wrecking, pillaging, cannoning, usual thing going down. And attack the Starforts, nick all its stuff. Okay, in a mud flooded world. Do you not agree this is not mud flooded? to a Starfort bastion. He's only got that, so I don't think it's going to stand much chance. But if you can see the fractal geometry right the way out on this one. But it looks like some sort of reset has happened here. City is gone. Bombardment, energy weapons. What about this on top of this tent? So is that decorative, do you think, to just stick plants, sort of a bit of tree, or do you think it works as some sort of antenna in this period, or even anyway? So yeah, fantastical images. We'll go through a couple more, because wow, actually, just wow on these. And it's been a while since I've seen them, if I'm honest with you. You know, I've looked at this maybe a dozen times, because it is absolutely amazing. And so many cluage. So this Roman, because apparently Romans are alive at this period, okay, he has a processional piece. And Corpus Victorious, because he's been victorious with his chunky army, but he's got this technology on the top. And 4 angels, wings open, for eagles in this case. So this is a technology possibly connected with the destruction of some of his cities, bringing weather, rain, mud, storms. These lot are evil guys. This is a death cult. They use magic. You know, in this place, this time, when this alchemical period, magic was prevalent. It was an everyday thing. It was included in everyone's everyday existence. Still is now, but people are unaware of it. So we have the Tartarians, we have the Cossacks, Constantinia. So that would be a Christian Roman alive at this period. The Ukrainians, Lithuanians, and the Polish royal family. And we even got the Phoenician hat, part of their crazy death cult. So I have a present with the information and the power. Okay, Religio Triumphans. So, like with religion, it's re-legion, to rejoin the legion, their legion. And wittingly, technology, sparking, and some sort of steel dome. So they're all in there, the Tartars, the Cossacks. Looks like the Tartars might have been... Well, they're not fighting him, are they? So I'm not sure what's going on there. Sellouts, maybe. I'm guessing with, you know, the Phoenicianization of Britain, or what they would call the Romanization of Britain. I think the same happened probably in Tartarian when they took it over. Sigmund, Vladisland. My, they were extravagant. And the ever-present MM33. What's it stand for? You don't know yet. It's been a mystery on Flat Earth British for a few years now. And this is what's happening to, you know, this deity apparently is alive. And it's a Babylonian because it has the many breasts, as we know on this. It's got a little Phoenician side of its shoulder. Is that a live statue? What's he doing there? Anyway, this is what happens to the rabble. So everyone's having a super fantastic time over here, but the people who live in this place, you know, these are doing alright. Okay, these bunch. They're getting more than their fair fucking share. Excuse my language. But the rest of the people, that. Oh dear. There seems to be some sort of lamenting going on there. She's holding her head or her ears. Is it a sound? So she's bringing some food and they're sharing some, like in Mad Max when you give them water. No, I'm going to switch the water off. Don't want you to have too much. Too much of a good thing is addictive. So yeah, the Turks, the Tartars, Cossacks, all in that picture. Super fantastic. Don't worry, I will be linking this atlas up at the end of the show in the descriptions boxage. So let's have a little look at this one. So there's a mud flooded world for sure. River. And some strange onion domed Antiquitech buildings. And mud flooded surround. And that would be what they would coin as medieval town forts, or town walls, excuse me, were probably all for. Check this one out, guys. This is pretty damn cool. Lubin. So, are they farming at sea, these reed things that we see going on in the water? So they're breaking the water up with some reeds. Everything outside, as you would expect, swimming in mud. No paths, no roads, really. Just sloppiness. A few little people getting their food back together. But that's the first thing you would do. The water would break up here, which looks like deliberate. There's a guy crucified here, or it's a giant Jesus on a crucifix, which he got nailed to a ship's mast, which is why they call him the Master. The Master. So, would you not agree that there's been a mud flood here? The mud is up to the top window here, over that, and here, higher than that window. So, why do you think all the mud got there? And look at these for Antiquitech age. Whew, wow. Zzz. Look at that one. Whoa. Very, 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 very juicy. Very, very juicy. And there's another giant Jesus, bigger than a house, at the other side, and a buried tower. So, fantastica, indeed. So, let's move on a little bit. This is the new way of displaying Galaga, but we can display them. There's a map of Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, Belarus going down what were formerly Eastern Bloc countries. But I am half Estonian, half Welsh. Strange old mixture, but whatever. Got Scottish too, me, probably, as well. All sorts of strange. We're all one place anyways, doesn't matter. Look at this. Whole world. It's a strange place. And getting stranger by the day. But whatever. Nothing surprises me anymore. So that's beautiful. On water. Little temple in the mud. On the river. And a nice big raft. Okay, let's move on. I'll get some Starforts. There's one coming up in a minute. And it's in this Polish city. And it is absolutely fantastic. Check this out. We have got some dwellings. Water's coming in. Where? Underneath, probably. This is all around. And we have this. Wow! With a crown on top. No graves, because it's not a church. What about that one? These are the two most mind-blowing, weird things I've ever seen. Look at this, guys. When do you see churches looking like that? What's the third one like? equally as bizarre. Look at the size of the Roman gate. Phoenician gate. And with this. So, yeah. Would that change the memory of the water that crashed through its geometric shape? In my mind, yeah. The memory of this water has memory. So that would be a thing. So it could restructure water. Could it restructure water for the entire plane? Well, yeah, if there's thousands of them well placed, which there is. So there's a guy hiding there. So either Jesus is there in real life, or they've just nailed somebody up who's also glowing, or it's a statue as big as the house, maybe. So there's a nice mud flooded road to Krosno in Poland. And look at these. Wonder what they are for. You can imagine them lit up in the old world. Magnetised. Wow, wow, wow. And this, which is hollow now. All repurposed. This from the reset. Everything else outside in the mud. Messed up. water going into it, going around it, always. But they're getting a bit of farming going together at that period, so it's not too shabby at all. They do get back. This is fantastic. Check this image out. Literally the whole town is buried. So what you find is this is ground level, and then there's these immense drops, almost as if they dug all of this well, this entire pit out of the mud, because everything around her is a plain, and then you go down, 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 and then you hit the town. It's all fed by water. It's all the way around. This crazy, crazy Starfort system. The whole thing. Come my neck. But look at the size of these mud things they've dug out. These cliffs. The rest is mud, and look, houses underneath. This must be 100 foot high. It's there in the modern day. Don't bother having to please share me images. I've seen them. This was published 3 years ago. I first showed this, and it's changed a bit. All mud inside. Massive, massive interior wall. But the mud got in there too. Can you see? There. You wouldn't build houses on mud. It makes no sense. And there's some big, Greco-Romano structures in here. And the mud got in. The mud severely. Actually, not got in. It's just they've dug the whole thing out, and there's been a lot left. You imagine digging a hole around these things, digging them out. That's what they've done. But this one, this entire city, that was buried. That was buried. Some of it hasn't been dug out properly. I wonder they got it to dig it out. Giants? That's a big operation, isn't it? They got all little allotments to grow food all the way around. Wow, what a cliff. So yeah, dug out of the mud. This looks all man-made or giant-made, structurally not natural. The entire thing looks like it's dug out. Strange image. Mind blow. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Oh, there's a million things happening in this. This is one of those crazy ass battles on the Juniper. And like I said, in these images, everything is happening. They're action movies. So many people drowning, the bridge is gone, things are blowing up, everyone's falling off the mud banks. Absolute chaos. And there's the sacred geometry of the Starfort. Water all the way around. And going in as well. And Antiquitech. Wow, so I bet that holds 1,000 little clues. Frisian fasces in there anywhere. There, fasces. Which you will. Because these are all showing you that the old world has electromagnetic technologies, which they would, because there's nothing new under the sun. And this place is an electric universe. Vibration, resonance. In a physical sense. Bursting forth out of a non-physical place, which is the place where all of this sort of emanates from. You can think of it in scientific terms as 0 point, where everything emanates before wave function collapse, but not quite, no, not quite, along those lines. Difficult to put into words. Okay, more mappage, and another Starfort, and I'm going to link this up, and I'm going to be moving on for Flatterday. So happy Flatterday! Please share this show out, and it was really good to be back. Thank you for a cool week on Flat British. So what we got in here? Water feeding through the whole middle. Water feeding through into here, pumped back out into a river. See, this is not defensive. Something else clearly going on in the old world. So yeah, to my mind, restructuring. Now what would that do? Would that hold the realm in place as well as the Starforts, as well as the circuit board cities? Yeah, I think it's part of this whole mechanism for circuit board cities. It makes so much sense, and the water's a part of it, guys. The water holds the information. You know what? If you want to think of fluid in a fluid sense as water and there's meanness, but water is more like light is something else. You know, everything they told us is ass backwards and in reverse. Do you think light is quanta, particles? Can you prove it? Well, the double split experiment. Do you think about that much? Now that's a canny place to put a church. Is in that bit? Or church machine to activate maybe. So that one certainly got the water going on. So yeah, I've got many books which show you the hydraulic systems, how they're fitted in, and they literally, these whole things are, in my mind guys, it's just water technology, you know, structuring water, like we put forward with the Colosseum in Rome, also on the Celtic Tartarian channel. This in fact was some sort of water tower which was using double vortex magnetizing water technology, which makes everybody fantastic. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? What you make of that, guys? Sorry, I just don't know what to think. Is that a melted giant? I'm sorry, but like, this artist is decoding it seriously. This is why he's got killed. Yeah, he showed us the real history. You know, I got threatened by these atlases by some person from America land, so that I wouldn't be showing them if I were you. I'd stop it right away, and then start sending me sort of dodgy links about other leakers that have looked into Flemish art and Flemish atlases, because they're, you know, what hold all the information. After all, the history rewriters did work out at Leide University for the Jesuits, under different denominations actually. They come up with, you know, one hatch of a plan to bullshit their history in these places for the Phoenician paradigm. Let's have another look at that. There's no doubting it's a face. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? Looks like it's a melted giant. Really weird how he put that in. So let's have a look. A couple more. So yeah, thanks for showing up, guys. I've got a few more images to show you, and I'm going to basically show you some incredible, mind-blowing stone work at the end of this post I've collected up. But I've got a good collection of images of the day, which I've collected from part of my Google Photos, which I would love to share and give all my tens of thousands of photographs out if I could, as a free resource. Find a way. So yeah, this is another one. Look, crazy Antiquitech going on. Is there any need for all these towers with these anomalous, which look exactly like aerials, going on? I think not. This one is Antiquitech. Ka-ching. But outside, mud. You think of a city like that, it would have a prominent road leading up to it? No such thing. Just a little muddy track. Again, outside the city. Again, Pierre van der Haar will always show you a broken tree outside to show you that an event has happened. He always shows that when he does his bird's eye perspectives. Take a look for yourself. He always does it, as I will show you. Just growing back, snapped from the event. So this is a mighty Starfort. Whoa, look at that. Looks exactly like some sort of Van de Graaff generator. Mud outside. She's mighty on water, evidently. So, yeah, like I said, bird's eye view is uncanny as well, how you can put your mind into that perspective to actually imagery these pictures. You know, try it yourself. Try and imagine. Whoa. Imagine being over your street, 100 foot up, say, to the east, looking back on your district, if you live in a city centre, and try and imagine drawing all of the buildings in perspective from your angle up in the air. I can't see how it's possible unless you're actually up in the air, as in the form of maybe a balloon. Maybe he's tethered here and he's this high. because that's what it looks like to me. And the too much detail for them to be an engraving done from a balloon in weather. Mind blow. Look at this one. So mud inside for sure, but wow, water in Citadel, exactly the same. Mashed up with Antiquitech for the vibration because they're full of harmonics and organs. We put the food opposite the technasmia so the food grows well. Well. And then back out again. Any enemy could come through here. This is not what they're for. That's Moscow. Humongous, massive Moscow Starfort. Wow. I guess in that little church machine didn't make it inside. Maybe that's just like one, you know, really random denomination. Branch Davidians or something. Anyway. So, mud. Does he give us a tree erect? Never disappoints. Are they in the mud? So, yeah, look at the size of this one in the sloppy mud. Ooh. Unfortunately, most of this building's still stuck in the mud. This is probably a 3-story. Would you agree with that? Why wouldn't you have a path going up to it? To me, that is hard evidence in 1733 that a mud flood went on. Not too much time previous to when Pierre van der Haar is engraving these images and giving us clues galore with Antiquitech and the free energy and communications and nothing new under the sun and a whole host of things that we haven't even conceived yet. This place is infinitely complex and multi-layered. So we'll show you a couple more. I'm not sure how many's actually still in here in this atlas. This is quite interesting. A few buildings outside. Wow. An old whatever. So water. Is it being pumped in here? Or is that a path? Steps all around. That would still do it. It's touching the geometry. It's vibrating. So that's the Kremlin itself, full of secrets. Full of secrets. Absolutely epic. Oh, well, we've seen many images of this. Almost, 10 times as high, below ground level. So, St. Trinity of Jerusalem arriving in Moscow, doing a bit of how's your father? Bit of crossage on the headage, which you'd expect. But check out this device. Onion, glass onion. Absolutely amazing structure. I love that one in colour. Never ceases to blow me away. Oh wow, look at this. So more religioners. Bird's eye perspective, like a photograph. Check the happy hats out on these dudes. Wow. That's mental. So yeah, it's a bloody big club, but we're not in it. And we don't want to be either. They've been doing stuff like, it looks like they're doing a bit of torturing, maybe doing some, I don't know, maybe I got it wrong and wrongly interpreted. Maybe they're just scrubbing things. Yeah, they might be scrubbing things. Oh, that's unusual. Tree on a cart. Okay. Amazing building. So not too much social distancing going on back then. Oh, he's got that incense going on. Everyone's hit the floor because they're probably high. Yeah, that's a weird image, that one. Yeah, it's creepy too, all that religion stuff. Oh, look. Kissing! No, it's all Very unsavoury. Very unsavoury. The habitats are pretty funky. I wonder what their use is. Ether tech, isn't it? Ethers, like feathers, peacock's feathers, like Indian headdresses. Sticks up into the ether. So. Oh, I can only imagine what is going on here. There's a grand procession. I'm guessing it's going to rain sometime later. Because this makes rain. Processional altars and processional processions. And processions, which I've covered quite a bit on Flat Earth British. And a load of Muscovites and Russian people, which we also love. Oh, wow. So having a big feast, a table full of grubbage, and a bit of bath time. Doing some photographs there. You know, like they do on holiday. Do you want to photograph a child? Daddy, can I have one of those photographs? Shep said I'm talking. And just dunk the baby in fontage or whatever that is. A bubble thing. So yeah, very enjoyable. See if there's any more sinister stuff going on or anything going on. I'm not sure what that is, but it's fantastic. Okay, don't know. Crying. God, miserable bloody lot. Someone died. I'm guessing the empty suit. Oh, there's actually dead things here. How exciting. So, I wonder if the dead do rise at the sound of the trumpet, like they say. Still, they're soggy, aren't they? They won't have super strength. Easy. So, what are they pointing at? Any broken trees? Sure is. Are you in the mud? Sure am. There's a few trees broken, but they're, you know, they're grown back a bit. Maybe 25, 30 years after, who knows, 50 years after even. The mud is still there. Not dug out. Kolomna. I don't know that destination. And tree broken, indeed, and not more in this one. And she's a funky Starfortage. Made of timbers on the top, all of it. Serving the same purpose? I do not know. Okay, so I'm going to share this out. I'm going to move on in a little minute. Okay, they're doing something on the coast here, a bit of fishery. So this is a nice tour of the ancient world, finding out what fantastical stuff they had going on. But, yeah, you know, outside is pretty apocalyptic. Would you agree? Mud, people slopping around, nothing going on. And there's some more mappage for you to examine. Need more time to go through all this, but you won't find too many anomalies with these maps, except they're really, really well cartographied at the time. So, any trees broke outside? Yeah, bottom dollar. So, I'm moving on. Okay. So, please feel free to subscribe to all Flat Earth British channels and like this video if you have. And happy Flatterday. We're going to go through some images. Right. I need a drink. I've been talking a while. And I could talk for whales, as you all know. Things change, don't they, quick in life. Can't keep up with it myself. Shell-shocked half the time. Literally. So, isn't that a beautiful place? No absolutes in this place, but why is this attention to detail, you might be wondering? Well, understanding the technasmia technology and how this stuff, you know, actually affects the ether. You know, it's an imprint on it, you know. They imprint it with Solomon sigils and these swirls, you know, these little demonic Phoenician faces. All of it, you know, has an imprint on consciousness. It's thought out. It's incredible technology. That's why it looks so fantastic to your mind right now to look at it. You see, this is what it's meant to do. So this is a good example of what Tartaria and the Phoenician takeover. So what you see here in my mind is the red Tartarian world brick, and then the Phoenicians come along sometime later, whap a big stone, whap a wood lintel in, bit of maybe rough what they'll call coronas under here on the fascia, and cover it over with plaster, bang in a few Roman columns, etc. Who knows what was here before. But this church, also a red bricker. Any evidence of meltage? Difficult to say on that one. So what you see in these a lot of these artworks, you see all over Britain, all over what they call Christendom, angels, Eros, whatever you get, but they see them on this ball a lot. This ball is really significant. What is it? I think it is the thing that resets this place, or helps to, is the comet. So you're looking at the civilization that is thought to be the Great Expositions, a fantastical world of free energy and electricity and beautiful palaces and exhibits of everything in the world collected from somewhere. So basically, if you want to go and look at maybe 10,000 combs and brushes, they'll be in this place. These buildings apparently were built to house that. Most of them, as you know, are now gone, remnants. And look at this. This is the Greco-Romano world. Statues everywhere. All of the attention to detail on the Corinthian column tops. And what of the trees? Maybe a few years. Wow. So, this is in the wilderness. But why does it look like it is skyscrapers that have been melted? In fact, everywhere in the distance looks very mysteriously like tower blocks. Mud has come in and some vitrification has taken place. Wouldn't you agree? Or do you think this is maybe caused by erosion and rain over eons? Also, if you want to keep your culture safe in times of high water, build your civilization, or mud floods, on top of a rock, sandstone mesa. In this case, this mesa could be clearly something else, looking at this. But they put it there anyway. Quite nice. I don't know what this is, initially. Modern geology, bullshit. So how many transformations do we see? Red brick interior, very nice, beautifully, well not beautifully, but well put together, but then it's covered then with the rough stuff. And then outside then is the what looks like they call the Roman cement with volcanic ash, etc. Phoenician cement. And then concrete again with brick. That's what they call Roman, no doubt Barbaria. I know this Roman way of laying stone, brick, like this, thin. It's quite early. It's got some strength in that. Probably a bit of an aqueduct, something like that, don't know. What about that for 4 angels, sacred geometry? Can you imagine what that would do? 4 angels, actually literal, toroidals, the 4 angels that are on each corner actually have 4 angels themselves. It's just an amazing thing. Even 4 angels on this. Beautiful shot. Fine art. If you know to look at on Flat Earth British, the appreciation that you get with this is they can't really, they do, but not really, replicate this stuff in the modern day. Everything you see from the fireplace to that mirror to that statue to that statue to that statue, pineal glands, the acorn on top of that, to the basically the coating and the artworks are second to none. They're absolutely fantastic examples. They can't replicate that. You know, 1700s, 1600s, knocking this stuff out, maybe a little bit in the 1800s. You get up to the modern day, plastic fantastic, can't replicate any of it, it's rubbish. So, can you imagine bathing in this place? With this geometry going on in the water. And the beautiful decoration. And that is relaxing. So what has she got in this Phoenician painting? Is what? Well, we see this quite a lot, don't we? It's like a mirror, but in this case it's emanating some sort of light, isn't it, from central bit. Well, screams technology to me, guys. You know, it's a dimensional technology, if you like. What about this? That's a cactus, obviously, on the back of a truck. But the first thing I thought is, oh my god, it looks exactly like an undersea cable, the transatlantic undersea cable. And I went into a field in the book, Flat Earth British's book, The Holy Grail of Our Flat Earth, which you can get linked up below. And it's very similar to a cable, a church window, and a whole number of things, including the fascias, but that's obviously the feeding tubes. But isn't that incredible how much it looks like a cable, how much technology is replicating nature? But nice big cactus, and looks like a cable. Melted civilization. How old? Who knows? What reset? The one that had a plasma discharge event, guys. That one. This was a city. This thing's later, obviously, but this thing must have been glittering. Amazing city, now reduced to dust and rubble. And this is St. Petersburg. We've seen it many times, but city built for giants. That's some unbelievable marbling, if you don't mind me saying so. Even the veins in his feet. Excuse me. Lilies. Lilies, possibly representative of death. Is this Gabriel again? It's difficult to determine, but check out this on the pineal gland. The mind's eye. Pearls, some blue stone across, steel here as well, metal. Some sort of technology, me thinketh, and also here as well, just a fancy brooch to keep his cape. And what are capes? Why are capes needed in these times? You know, they're not really warm, are they? I don't know, but superheroes need capes, don't they? Superman has a cape. So where are we looking here? It's Commercial Street in Newport in South Wales, where I live, and there's a beautiful Tartarian city next over to Cardiff. Commercial Street in lovely old Newport in Wales land. So some more Renaissance freaky art. Some of these are fantastical. It's just, you can like some art interpreters will just pick out a square here and just look at that alone, because so much detail will be in each square. So look at the robot knees on there. Beautiful carpet, and always with the flowing textiles. So I guess we're looking at Mary and the baby Jesus, but that can't be because it's set in the Middle Ages with a Middle Ages papal purple dude. Yeah, don't worry too much about the frankincense next time. Bring more gold. So, we have a town here. Let's have a look. I can't really tell, but I think it's in the Balkans somewhere. But anyway, even out here in the muddy paths, no road as such, they got a fountain, some sort of pipe sticking up out of the ground from Watertech. Phoenician waterfall, obviously not used anymore. Some of them they got dug out, but you know, a lot of the plumbing got clogged up with mud. What we got here? The bells. So nice colorized image of the antique world. Here we have, wherever that is, Ragusa. I don't know where that is. Excuse my ignorance in geography, I do try. Oh, look at this, on top of Greek columns. Greco-Roman columns. All out in the mud. What's this sticking up? A bit of stick. Tie your horse on. Yet, next to it, video world. Protected. Nice shot though. Not as nice as that one. We got Bunko booths still active. Advertising and commercialism can't be that crazy at this period. You know, this is pre-motor car. I can't make out where that destination is, but Bunko booth, bit of advertising, something's happening inside them. For the size of this building, that would still be there today, surely, unless this got splattered in World War II. This is what World War II was, the bombing campaigns, you know, guys. RAF, Americans over Europe. It's just, you know, if you think about it in the terms of getting, you know, we're going to win the war by just bombing people in their towns, you're not going to get anywhere, are you? So it was about getting rid of the old world, the architecture, which they did, and it was selected as well because they chose what they were going to save. Paris didn't get splattered, did it? Because of its sublime architecture. Kept that in situ, didn't they? Other French cities like Verdun or something, you know, or other cities were just eradicated. Look at this, the old world. Wow. All in columns. In case the water comes in, break it up. Sound wave, break it up. Resonator, or maybe just plain old heat sink for the computer board city on the river with the water and the information convergence. This is Vienna. Oh, Vienna. Yes, there's always a little bit of time for a bit of midyear. Midyear. It's a funny name, isn't it? Midyear. It's got like a midge in his ear. So, Phoenician columns. So you find these are totems of Phoenician ships. Okay, I'll just bring that up a little bit more. You'd see. You got this in Petersburg. There's one in New York by Madison Avenue. And where this place is. Phoenicians ships all the way up, and one of their dudes. This looks very castellated. Beautiful wherever they are. So the fine old world getting back on its feet. So yeah, here's a bit more of this angel Gabriel, or angel. It's difficult to determine, you know. If I used to Google "are angels men," I'm not sure what answer you would get. So yeah, humanity. They don't do clothes. They're sinking in the grass, in the mud, because it's vitrifying. Why would you sink otherwise? They're sinking in the mud. Or are they the dead rising? So they got an angel and a demon. Are they on the same side? Get off him. He's mine. Get off him. He's mine. Yeah, this is Judgment Day, isn't it? And the trumpets. And what's happening on the other side? Well, they don't look too happy, do they? Maybe they've had a pandemic going on. Eh? So they're weighing up them two and their sins. He's been holy and praying. Yeah. He's been doing what he's told. He's been not so much of a do-gooder. And apparently he's going to be cast into hell. So, cute little Phoenician paradigm they gave us. Any truth in it? Fuck no. What about Jesus getting a whisk in the shoulder, a fork in the shoulder, a comb in the arm, an axe in the elbow, scissors, and he's giant Jesus, by the way. Remember, I might have mentioned on my last post that Jesus was probably actually a giant, because everyone was giants back then, so he would have been a giant anyway, because, you know, this place was built for giants in one of these resets. So the horse is as little as Jesus' foot. So I guess, like, when Jesus giant turns up, he's different. Axe in the knee, whisk. I don't know what this key thing is to cover himself up. Axe in the leg, whisk on the bollocks, steak tenderizer on the elbow, fork in the arm, fork in the road. But he is glowing, and he's a blonde dude, so, you know. Giant Jesus getting problems, as you do. So I used to post Reset World in art. I've posted these many times, these types of art, but I do love them. So these people who are doing their washing, I'm sure the people who run this building to get that washing off of our fence, but they're not there anymore because the whole world's been reset. Everybody's dead. The survivors now can occupy these cities that they never built, by the way, and do their washing out in the centre and reoccupy these smashed civilizations. Antiquitech. Are they laying in stasis, or for when the end times come, do they come back out? And is that why there's a door on it? To kick it open, step back out again, or regenerate it. So the Golden Age of Tartaria, when the airships were going down the road, mooring up on one of the towers, people just stepping off, going down to their Tartarian coffee shop or whatever they do. So there's not only tree hugging, but trees actually hug one another. They're very loving, trees. So on that note, find someone to hug if you can. Especially in these weird times. So the French had a thing called the French Dragon, okay? And they took it through processions. So black face, curly hair, bulbous back end, spiky bits. At first I thought this might be a comet. It breathes flames and maybe looks a little bit like a comet. There it is. So they take it through sort of parades, dress up in medieval gear. There is definitely a black face with curly hair and some sort of bulbous things on the back. I'm not sure what's going on. The Tara socks gone. This is a bit of anti-Tartarian rhetoric. You see what I mean? Wow, she's spooky. The one that's dressed as a bride. The Tarascon procession. Definitely a Tartarian feel to that. It's Tlamistui. Oh, it's Tlamistui. Left in the groundage. So San Francisco, we talk about it all the time, but look at the masonry on this building here, these giant stones. They look like they've had a direct impact from meltage. And if this was like fire that did it, well, why didn't it melt all of the brickwork above? Just this. It's like literally just like somebody just come down and just gone zzz, ray gunned it. Because it's melted into the little bricklets. Going down to the call centre on Market Street. I find that unusual, you know. Follow the way fireworks in your mind. This doesn't fit at all with me. Something else going on. Detective Martin is on it. This is inside a beautiful castle. And they made all that effort to do that floor in a sacred geometric pattern. Which I like. I think that might be the toilet. You sit outside in the morning, that's your bathroom. And take the royal dumpage. Right, what we got here? Bandstands. Whoa, that is a fantastical bandstand. And they're actually using it as a bandstand. I bet that sounds nice. Bit of social distancing going on here. All these tables are very far apart. Aren't they? There they are. But that looks a super place to visit. Might go there. Bit of umpiring, if it is in Germany. Looks like it's Germany. So you see this in Renaissance, apart from in art, apart from like you've got the sneaky guy in the background looking in, he's got his eye on this. See this guy with the funny nose? He's got his eye on this thing here. I think he might want to half-inch it. I really do. So he's got like a happy hat, crown, fantastic clothes. Yeah, but he's always carrying this, and there's like great reverence towards it. And I don't think it's just like a processional piece. I think it must be some sort of technology. Yeah, a horse is looking at you. What about that one there? The baton. Definitely a bit of old tech. So that's a pretty groovy picture. Don't trust that guy in the background though, he looks really iffy. So, baptism. Cover you in structured water, say some words, and you literally change your vibration, and you were part of that new paradigm. That's why some people are completely different to others. They're not in it. They're not in the same place, same realm, same game. Well, these were the happy hats and magicians waiting. See them? It's a bit weird, isn't it? Is John the Baptist around in this period? Anyway, we know what happened to him. So, that is pretty fantastical for the quality of Stone Age, wouldn't you say? Seamless again. Machining, other technologies. Shh. Try replicating that in modern day without any machines. So yeah, this part has just fallen off into the sea. It's quite a nice picture. No, excuse me. Let's get rid of that bit at the top. So this is Paris, obviously, and it's a nice little capture of an old building, some decoration, but Greco-Romano columns inside. But you get down here and there's more going on. Older stone, older world. Here the antenna of the Eiffel Tower. St. Petersburg builds the most fantastical buildings you can ever imagine, but outside they just can't think of anything going on really. You just have a bit of mud. Shit. Everything's buried. Half buried. More mud. Any more mud going on? Yes, there's not much going on there. Everything buried. And don't know what that massive aerial is there. There's a flag on it. Okay. We'll give them that flagpole. It's probably an energy gathering flag anyway, because you can. So, there's the old world. And great expositions. Pastor of Paris. The detail in this stuff. Okay, move on. So, have you ever seen the film Idiocracy? Well, eventually everyone becomes so fucking dumbed down and stupid. Eventually they can't even be bothered getting out of their chair anymore. So they just shit in their chairs. And they're actually like a thing now, guys. They're saying this for this reason, right? But I think this is actually going to come out. I think people will become so lazy they will shit in their chairs and not even go to the toilet anymore, because that's how bad it is. Because you've got to stay in anyway, because it's on lockdown. So yeah, radium emanator is a thing for giving radiation eminence in your room or wherever. And what? Fantastical. The Khmer Rouge, or the Khmer Empire, ended not that long ago apparently. I wonder what happened. Well, so this angel's pretty trippy. He's got a nice pair of trippy wings. That night, he's a bit sleepy. So that's a coffin, isn't it? So the lid is off. Why are they messing with the dead? And why are these asleep? They've been put on a spell, so they'll fall asleep by the angel. So, domage, crowns and jewels, gems that grow, beautiful hair. Got many jewels on there. So if that was in the modern day, that would be worth tens of millions. It really would. So, Angel Gabriel with his super fantastic Flash Gordon hat on. And I'm guessing this is Mary and Jesus again. In the Greco-Romano world setting of the Middle Ages. Not that long ago. More red brick Tartaria. Definitely 100% on this one. Meltage. It's just gone. Is that? Something bad happened. He knows about it. Ah, there'll be no more. Ah. I know. Look at these. It's like the Lord of the Rings, isn't it? You can see where they get their ideas. Or Tolkien, though. He's definitely one of their Tavistockies. These modern cameras. And telling us about Middle Earth. Your seeing eye of Suriname. Look at this. You're going to build that out in the mud. Buried. Windows down there. Phew, that looks old. The old anomalous ladder and doing a bit of touching it up. Would you not agree that building looks really, really old? Yes. Me too. Don't know, it just looks beautiful. Again, technology, technosmia. Images and shapes and colours interacting with ether. Because they do. Shapes. Vibrational sound of a shape. Sound of a shape. They got enough water going on. They got enough statues going on. Great expositions. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Guessing this is Buddhism. Might be wrong, might be Hinduism. But regardless, it looks absolutely beautiful on my computer screen. So yeah, when your city gets destroyed, okay, you know, what you gotta do is have a good old bloody chuckle about it all. Do you think they bought it? Give it a little nudge. Yeah, they bought it. So isn't that unusual? Still, it's nice to see they're keeping good spirits up, even though, you know, the entire city is being destroyed. You'd think they'd be crying and stuff, but we'll have a little giggle about it all, shall we? So, sacred geometry and the maze of a circuit board, which we see all over antiquity. Great exposition. Chicago. This wheel, this building, all burnt. So here's the old railways that were dug up from the old Tartarian transport. They say they dug them and laid them. A lot of them were already buried deep in mud. So here's what they call the Roman world. Look at these. These were covered. All of this was covered with some sort of covering, obviously. But wow. An aqueduct. And the Phoenician, in this case, sledges, but they do plenty of carriages. And it's always the same thing, the crowning, the figurehead. The royal family got the golden carriage used in jubilees. This guy, this super futuristic knight thing, has something in his hand for a start off. 4 fingers, maybe that's his thumb, yeah, alright. But he has a visor, a bit like Data on Star Trek. And these look like communicators, and he's touching his ear. So he's like, come in, you know, to, you know, whoever control, come in control. And he has visors as well, so maybe you can see stuff. So, tech, or just funky visors and funky earpieces? Make your own mind up. Melted red brick civilization. And here's another guy with one of these funky reliquary. It looks like a cathedral. He's holding it very carefully. It seems to be glowing red inside. He looks a bit like he's a bit spaced out. But I tell you what, he's got a super fantastic happy hat on. So that's why he's so spaced out. He's gathering information between that and that. He looks like he's gathering information. And again, there's always an old beady eye keeping his eye on this thing. Have you noticed in this art? That thing's intriguing. Space rocket? Why does it look like a space rocket? Why do they all look like space rockets? There's no space up there. What are they, submarines? Missiles? Looks like Constantina's down. Maybe this thing just comes up. You with me? Down and up. But regardless, it's an unusual one. Why, on the corner of a wall, red brick, would you have a pillar bricked in? Why indeed. Dog head with a caduceus, possibly St. Christopher. all over the antique world like they really existed. So I'm not sure what this is. Maybe a horse and cart, yes, but mud-flooded worlds, they've only got boards because they can't afford a road, but they can do these massive Greco-Romano structures, strange aerials. Something's blacked out on there. That's altered. Some of these are altered. There's more going on with that. You can see it, the haze. If you altered the hue, there too. It's cut out. There's more going on in this. And that looks defined. These drain pipes look like they've been added and defined. Can you see that? All of them, in fact. Yeah, that's altered. Vanilla sky. Always a vanilla sky. The Great Exposition. Chicago. Gone. And buried railway lines. Check it out. So yeah, I'm coming back very shortly with some more fantastic images for you to relax to take you to the end of this vlog. I'm going to come back for a little bit. I want to thank you for coming by on Flatterday, spending some time with Martin, Flat Earth British, who's making an effort to bring the love, keep the vibration high, and all good things. Flat Earth British. So something's definitely happened to that Colosseum. But look at the size of that statue was in its interior. No, wow. So I can't say if it's a cake cover or a hat or what it exactly is, but it's made of silver by the look of it with some precious gems in it. I just liked it and it looked aesthetically pleasing. So like I just showed you with that circuit board, I should have put that picture in front of it. That circuit board of the maze that we just looked at just now, remember, looks just like a slice of the human Brian. Look at it. And look how HD these are. Imagine walking through this place. The sound, the smell. So clean. And you open it, I'm guessing. Cool, I bet they were sort of mind-boggled and or glary-eyed with the new Phoenician Empire. So, sound model 3D. Oscillation, and you get exactly what you see in these, which we know anyway, but it's nice to show you a picture of what these things are really for. Wobbly columns, buried tracks, the old worlds of railway. I don't even know how that slipped in here, guys. Honestly, I just don't know how that slipped in. Yeah, it's just did. So I'll just leave that up for a second because I was just looking at these tank traps. Wherever they are. I wonder what they do. Anyway, that's nice. Melted red brick civilization. Don't know what that was. This was some sort of thing that is way zappaged. City. So how do you think they got them stones on top of there? Dropped from the sky. They're all full of stones. Strange that one, isn't it? Full of wonder, as all Flat British vlogs are. Full of wonder and delight, as the next bit will prove. Look at this, guys. Trees, don't call them that. What they look like. Could be electrical synapses, could be your arteries of your veins, could be the alveoli of your lungs. See how they interact and what they leave. Absolutely mind-blowing fractals. And again, with that maze, it will show you in this statue. Okay, can't really tell you the size of this, but this looks like land down here. And I'm wondering if this thing is absolutely humongous. Can you see what I mean? It's like scrub. I was wondering how big this thing actually is. Can't really tell. But again, it's that same maze, isn't it? Shown as the human mind. Human Brian, as we already know. Opening day, great expositions. Phoenician honeys, if you want to call them that. Anyway, moving on. So, guys, I'm just going to zip back for a second. Now, I'm going to share some cool images of stoner because I absolutely love this stuff. I'm going to play some little bit of piano music, and I will be back in a second. Okay, so I'm going to mute my microphone. Okay, peace and love to you all. Did you actually share the show? Oh, thanks. that was nice. Well, I enjoyed that. Hope you did too. So that is Flatterday's show. We'll be looking at the Starforts and the potential for them to structure water out of their sacred geometric shapes, out of the ether fractal geometry. So I hope that you enjoyed that. Let me know in comments what you think about all the things happening this week. All my thoughts on this post, you can basically comment below, and I get onto all comments. Make sure to subscribe, like, or whatever other stuff you do on YouTube. Okay, peace and love to you all. Keep your vibration high, and I will be back in a day or so. Keep an eye on the Flat Earth British Think Tank channel, because I always crank up on there, on my Instagram and Facebook, because I was posting on there too. So keep an eye on all that is going on Flat Earth British. Okay, flat thumbs. Peace and love to you all. Be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.